Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm excited for another Thursday. You know what we do on Thursdays?
Dear John Letters.
Dear John Letters. We got a good one today. And if, for those of you who want to see it, I post it early in the morning on Thursday morning, so you can get up early and read it if you want, or you can read it before you get ready to go to work or whatever you want, but I have it there early so you can go and take a look at it. And then we answer that later in the program, so it's always fun.
Good.
Got a nice quote today.
Okay.
Tom Jefferson. You heard of that guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thomas. Well, today's his birthday. So we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He's the one that wrote that.
Love it.
I think that's pretty cool. Think about how much thought had to go into what they did back then.
Speak that eloquently
No, we
anymore.
don't. Not as like...
YOLO.
Yeah. You think 200 and some years from now they'll be quoting?
So he's going to be quoting.
And a wise man once said, YOLO. Probably not. Hey, 7 out of 10 British dogs get Christmas gifts from their doting owners. I think that's
I would
more.
say that's the same thing in America, don't you think?
I think that's more than we do here. So apparently,
I
British.
give our dogs Christmas
Yeah, I know
presents.
you do. I think British.
I think most people do.
Not everybody. 7 out of 10 in England. Coming up, some special stuff today. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, April the 13th. Ooh, you know what they say? Thursday the 13th. No, that's
Nobody
not a
says
thing?
anything about Thursday
okay.
the 13th.
Well, see, if today was tomorrow, then it'd be Friday
If
the 13th.
today was tomorrow.
Yeah, but today's not tomorrow. Today is today. And today is Make Lunch Count Day. So make lunch count. We should have lunch plans today. We should
do that.
Do something. Scrabble Day as well today. We haven't played Scrabble in forever.
I have never played Scrabble with you.
We've never played Scrabble together?
No.
I think we have.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever even played Scrabble.
I have. And I think I beat you. Thomas Jefferson Day today. It's his birthday. Celebrate Teen Literature Day today as well. Our son was a teen author. He wrote his first book when he was, 15? The first one that was printed. So he is a teen author. So
Very talented young
celebrate
man.
that young man today. And all of that is going on this Thursday, April the 13th.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Take a listen to this. This is just nitwits at work. Can a screwdriver save a man's life? Well, apparently it can, but not in a good way. The family of a man in Hilo, Hawaii, H-I-L-O. Would you say Hilo or would you say Hilo?
I don't know. Never been there.
Yeah, we should go.
We should.
We should travel there to find out how they say the name of their town. And just to be in Hawaii. Anyway, the family is suing a doctor for implanting a screwdriver into this man's neck.
What? How would that happen?
Well, let me explain
You
to
don't
you.
do that accidentally.
No, it was not accidentally. It was malice. Is that what it is? Like when they do it on purpose?
Oh.
Yeah. During a surgery, Dr. Robert Rickinson asked the nurse to pass me a titanium rod. And she said, Doc, we're all out. And he said, oh, well. He alleged that he couldn't keep the man under anesthetic while they waited to get a new rod. And he would be unstable if he left it the way it was. So he cut the shaft off a screwdriver on the instrument table. And he just used that.
Oh, my gosh.
The nurse claimed that she was sent out of the room during this procedure and was told to keep quiet. The man gave local news channel 6 there in Hawaii an x-ray to prove that he has a screwdriver in his neck. I wonder if he's in pain. Because, I mean, like, if the guy's not in pain, if everything's okay, then maybe this isn't such a big deal. But he had to have found out somehow. I mean, that just doesn't... You don't just one day go, hey, I wonder what's going on in my neck here. Everything's feeling fine. It doesn't say that he's in pain, though.
And it wasn't done with malice. Malice indicates malicious intent, like he did it to be mean.
Oh, okay. Then what was it
He-
done with?
he just-
MacGyverism?
Apparently, because he had no other choice and he was
See.
just making do with what he
Doc-
had.
Dr. Robert Ricketson, in the future, maybe you check to make sure you have all the ingredients before
Well,
you cut
why
him open.
on earth would they have
I
gone
don't
into
know.
surgery without all this stuff?
Okay, we got him ripped open. Hand me the heart. We don't have a heart. We don't have a heart? Well, we're going to come up with something. I have
got a
no clue.
plum.
Yeah, let's just stick that in there. See if that works. Wind up this watch. It'll tick. That'll be good. Anyway, you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. How do you keep the police from taking your evidence? Well, you eat it. According to this story, a Russian man was caught trying to bribe a policeman. Then he tried to destroy the evidence by eating his money. A man from Usyk in Russia is facing minor drug charges when he approached his investigating officer and offered him a bribe of $1,200, and it looks like a little weird sign in front of it. So I don't know if that's dollars, but it's like pounds or whatever what kind of money do they use in Russia?
Isn't it rubles?
Is it rubles?
It's rubles.
So 1,200 rubles. How much is a ruble worth?
I don't know.
Anyway, he said, hey, if I give you 1,200 of these, whatever we use for money here, I'm sure he probably said what it was, though, would you just drop the case? The officer said, no. And now you're bribing me, so that's going to give you some more trouble. So then he tried to eat the money. He managed to eat one banknote before being arrested and then charged with attempting to bribe a public official. Head of the anti-drug squad, Ivan Chaika, said, this is not the first time someone has tried to bribe one of my men, but it is the first time I can remember any of them trying to eat the evidence. See, the reason they're trying to bribe them is because back like in old-time Russia, that's how it worked. Like you get pulled over, you just say, how much is it going to cost? Here, I'll just pay my
How
fine
much
right
to
here.
make this just go
I mean,
away?
and it's not just there. That happened all over the place. And I think that happened back in the day here in the US of A, too. All over the place. There were times where you could, wink, wink, get your way out of things. But that's not the way the world works today. It just doesn't. I hope.
The good old days.
No, I don't think so. Kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. America's corner drugstore was being robbed, the one in Denver, Colorado, Walgreens there. And the police reported that a man with a barbed wire tattoo around his neck threatened threatened the clerk with what appeared to be a can of mace, or maybe it was a stun gun. He couldn't really tell. But he demanded the money. The clerk said no way. They struggled for a bit. The thief decided to give up and started running out the door. That's when our quick-thinking clerk decided to throw something at him. Guess what he threw? The cash register drawer.
Oh.
Filled with money. The thief stopped, scooped up the dough, and then took off. So
Yeah.
he was running away. Why did you throw the cash register drawer at him?
That's the only thing he had.
Of all the things to throw a pack of chewing gum. I mean, that's right by that. So throw something else. But why would you throw that?
Stapler or
I
something.
don't know. Anything but that. That
that's
was a
funny.
bad plan. So that's why it became today's moment of duh. Your scoop of the day is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Heidi, I didn't get through this. I'm not exactly sure the answer to the rest of this, but I'm going to tell everybody. When I was a kid, I used to watch this show called, the show was called Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. Oh,
Robert
I
Stack.
loved Unsolved
Heidi
Mysteries.
grew up in a different state, in a different town, in a different home, and she watched it too. So even though we didn't know each other yet, we were building a bond through Unsolved Mysteries. And there's a story that I watched on that program that I'll never forget. D.B. Cooper. Do you remember that
Oh,
story?
yeah, I remember that story.
Did that fascinate you as much as it fascinated me?
Not really.
Oh, well, so much for that bond. D.B. I was thinking maybe we had a little heart-to-heart going here. D.B. Cooper, for those of you that don't know, was a man in 1971. He hijacked an airplane, got a bunch of money, and then jumped out of the airplane, and they never saw him again. And now, decades later, scientists have a new theory, and I wish I could tell you what it is. I was reading that when it became time for this, but I do have it linked on our Facebook page. It's something about some particles of metal that they found on his tie. So they're trying to like track down and figure out. Anyway, it's just a really long story. I'm reading through this. Anyway, 45 years they've been looking for the dude, and this is still one of the most interesting hijackings of all time. And it's just a fascinating story. And I wish I knew. I'll read all the rest of it. But
Good story, babe.
thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe I should have read the rest of it and shared that later. That would have been a good thought. If you'd like to read the story, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. You have to call me and tell me how that ends. A man in Indiana was arrested recently for going 158 miles an hour. Can you imagine that?
That seems a little...
It's a bit
little
excessive.
fast.
Yeah, 158 miles an hour. He got pulled over and arrested. That's what happens when you go 158 miles an hour. No warning, no ticket. They just arrest you. That's what happens. An unexpected passenger arrived on a Turkish airline flight. Her mom gave birth on the flight. Crew members helped deliver a bouncing baby girl on a Turkish airline flight. Can you imagine that?
That's crazy.
So you're like, okay, does she have to buy another ticket for that baby? Please don't put that crying baby next to me. I think it's kind of cool. British man met and married a woman after he dreamt of a phone number, and he woke up and he had this number in his head, so he sent a text message. After dreaming of a number, the man texted, "Did I meet you last night? ? The random recipient was confused but decided to reply. They began exchanging messages back and forth. Then they met up in person and they fell in love and they just got married.
That is the coolest thing I have ever heard.
That's either really cool or really creepy, one or the other.
That's super cool.
That is really cool, I think, but it kind of borderline creepy too. Hey, where's the best beer in your state? I'm sorry, the best beer bar in your state, Heidi? Do you think you know where it is? Do you think you go?
I know where all of them are.
I looked on the list. We've never been to the one here, but there's a list, Thrill List. I've got a link to that as well because Heidi's going to want to go check these out now. It's got every state's quote-unquote best beer bar. I don't know how they choose that.
Isn't any beer bar a best beer bar,
Apparently.
really?
I don't know. And we got some time for one more story here. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This one. Police in Blue Springs, Missouri got an early morning call from a man who said his girlfriend was having trouble breathing. That's never good.
No.
They discovered she had a cell phone stuck in her throat. Turns out, I shouldn't laugh. Turns out the man wanted the phone. She refused. And to keep him from getting it, she put it in her mouth and tried to swallow it.
I bet he wanted to wring her neck.
All he'd have to do is dial her number, and then he would be wringing her neck. I have no clue. Why would you do that? What was she trying to hide on that phone? I mean, whatever it was, it's worth almost dying over. So,
wow.
yeah, that's a bad thing. Coming up,
Phones are huge.
This must have been a small phone. Either that or she's got a pretty big mouth.
That's probably why he stayed with her.
I have no clue. No clue what's going on there. Anyway, coming up, we have your Dear John letter. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for our
Dear John letters.
And we got a great letter today, Heidi. By the way, if you'd like to submit a letter for next week, we'll tell you how to do that before the program is done. But we'll start with this one. Dear John, I'm concerned for my daughter. She's been out of high school for a few years now, and she's never been on a real date. She had friends that are boys, but never really a boyfriend. When I was her age, I had dated a bunch. I was even married when I was only about a year older than she is right now. I see many of her friends dating, and some even getting married, but she really doesn't seem to be interested in that. There have been many boys that have been interested in her, but she's never really given them much attention. I'd like to have grandchildren someday, so I hope I can come up with a way to help her find someone special. She seems to be lonely lately, and her friends have all gone their own way. Her father and I want to help set her up on a dating profile. No, let me try that again. Her father and I wanted to help her set up an online dating profile, and she was very clear that she did not want that. What can we do to help? What can we do to help Cupid's arrow find my daughter before I grow old and die? Well,
Wow. That escalated quickly.
It did indeed. Signed, Concerned Mom. Well, one of the things that I think you got to understand, kids today are different than they were when we were kids. There's a huge population of kids. When I say kids, I mean people in their early 20s, so really not kids, that are living still at home. A bigger percentage than we've had in a long, long time. So, and a lot of people are getting married a little older than they used to be. And I think that it's our fault, by the way, Heidi. It's our generation's fault.
Okay.
This is just my opinion. There have been so many people in our generation who got married young and then got divorced and then got remarried and maybe even divorced again, that I think that the next generation, they're kind of looking at it going, I don't think I want to do all that. I'm going to wait till the right person comes along. So, I can understand that. We have a son that's 20, and he's, single. So if you guys want to, I'm just saying. But you know how mad he's going to be that I even said that?
That's why I didn't say anything.
I can feel him right now. He's probably getting ready to poison me when I come home. But I think that that's kind of a little more common, don't you? Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people that are younger that are not interested in getting married and stuff. You're looking at me like I'm nuts.
No.
Do you have some advice for this concerned mom?
I would just set up the dating profile.
You would.
I would.
She would.
I would.
I would not.
Absolutely would.
But here's what you can do. Here's what I would do. You heard Heidi's devious thing. She's saying, I'm going to set it up no matter what. What I would do is just start encouraging your daughter to go places with you where there could be young boys that she could actually meet, and let nature take its course. I don't know if you guys go to a church, but if there's young people that are at the church, maybe she'll meet somebody there. Maybe she'll meet somebody at work. If she works somewhere where there's other young people. But, if she's not going to those kind of places, chances are she's not going to meet some guy in her bedroom, just like, or in the basement playing video games or whatever. So, you got to make sure that you have her out where people can meet her. And if she doesn't like going out and doing things, I think it would be kind of tough to meet somebody that way.
Agreed.
So I would definitely not do the online dating thing if she said no, because then you're going to have her very upset. And I don't think that's a good idea.
Only until their wedding day, and then they're fine.
So you're saying she'll forgive her someday?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that
It'll be
marriage
fine.
doesn't work out. It's all your fault. You're the one that set up the dating profile. All right. So hopefully that was some good advice. Probably not. Was there some advice in there anywhere?
Not really.
All right.
Not
Well,
really.
Heidi just said go ahead and do it anyway.
I would set up the profile.
I wouldn't. I would take her places where she can meet people, and again, let nature take its course. That's what I'd do. And maybe even just talk to some of your friends. Heidi likes to set people up.
I love to set people up.
So it's really tough for her because she wants to set our son up all the time, and he's not having any of it. He wants nothing to do with that. So I can understand where you're coming from, concerned mom, because I happen to be married to another concerned mom. So I get it. And I'm going to just stay out of it. If you'd like to send a Dear John letter to be answered next week, or to not be answered like this week, I think we answered it, but I have no clue if I don't even know what I just said. You can send it to us through our Facebook page, and that is facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Before 1859, baseball umpires were seated in padded chairs behind home plate. Sitting back there, best seat
Chilling
in the
out,
house.
drinking a beer.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like maybe a bad idea. Maybe that's why they quit doing that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1954, Richard Herrick received the first successful kidney transplant. Guess where he got his kidney?
I have no idea.
Richard Herrick got his kidney from his twin brother, Ronald Herrick.
Oh, that was nice.
Very cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You ever watch the show Sesame Street?
Yes, I did.
There's a hotel on the popular children's TV show. Do you know what the hotel is called?
No.
The Furry Arms. Yeah. I'm going to have to pay attention.
Who wants to stay
I don't
there?
know, the Furry Arms. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1968, a man was playing with a yo-yo while testifying in Congress, and he was found in contempt. Abby Hoffman was the person playing with a yo-yo and found in contempt. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the UK, 3 million people play bingo every year.
Ah.
It's a pretty popular sport over there, apparently.
It's not a sport.
It's not? I don't know.
I do like bingo. You never take me to bingo.
We'll have to go play bingo one of
When
these
you do
days.
take me to bingo, you fall asleep and it's embarrassing.
It's not my fault. I can't. They keep it 900 degrees. I can't handle it in there. I was like, okay, I need to take a nap. Coming up, we got more fun stuff. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partner with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. How many minutes of exercise per week do you need to lose weight? Whatever it is, I'm not getting
More
it.
than what I'm doing. I can tell you that.
We're both turning over a new leaf, though, this week.
Yes,
we're starting
we
to do some more
are.
exercising.
I can't wait.
I'm excited, too. It's been good. Let's start tomorrow. How's that sound? Well, scientists at the University of Pittsburgh have calculated how many minutes of exercise are needed to lose weight and keep it off. You ready for this?
I am ready.
Researchers said you need 275 minutes per week. For those of you who are not good at math like me, somebody did that for us. That's 55 minutes a day, 5 days a week. When 200 women were given no more than 1,500 calories a day and
1,500 calories a
I could
day.
do that in one meal. I can do that in like one snack.
That's like torture.
Yeah. Anyway, they were told to exercise
Prison rations.
No, they get more than that, I'm sure. They were told to exercise 5 days a week. The women who exercised for 275 minutes per week kept 10% or more of their original body weight off for 2 years. Only 10% for all of that working out? Come on now. Scientists at the University of Pittsburgh, give me some better numbers to work with here. I mean, you had me for a second there. I was excited. I was thinking that, I was going to get to eat something. You were talking about calories, but then it was only 1,500 calories. And all that working out for just a whopping 10%? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem worth it.
I don't think I'm going to probably do that. But we are going to go for more walks now this time of year, and we're going to be going to the gym. We've had a membership since December. I've been there once. Heidi's never been there
not.
yet. So this week,
I'm excited.
this is the week.
It's the maiden voyage.
We drive by there once in a while on the way to the restaurant. But I only wish I was kidding. Coming up, we've got some more fun stuff. Going to be heading to Texas and going to be talking about a neurosurgeon on the way.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up, Heidi?
I wanted to be a comedian.
A comedian. Did you ever get a chance to do that?
No, because I'm shy.
I'm going to have to take you out and teach you to do some
I am not
comedy.
doing that.
You should.
No.
You're very funny.
I would pass out.
Oh, you would do a good job. I've done comedy before, and I enjoy
No.
doing it. It's
No,
not
I'm
as
good.
hard as you think. You just get up and talk. It's kind of like what we're doing right now. But there's an audience.
Yeah,
It's the same kind of thing.
I'm not qualified.
Yeah, you're qualified.
I'm not qualified.
Well, 4-year-old Priya Purewell of Irving, Texas, wants to be a neurosurgeon. Well, most kids that are only 4 have no clue what a neurosurgeon even is. She's got a pretty good shot of being one. Her IQ has been measured, and between 148 and 170, she's 4 years old. This puts her in the top 2% of the entire population, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
She was reading before she was even 1 year old. Now she is the latest child member of the High IQ Society, Mensa. So last time we talked about this, it was a 6-year-old. Now this girl is only 4, and I'm still not invited. They won't return my calls. I don't know why. Mensa, call me. I don't know why they won't. Apparently they've listened to the program. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, what do you suppose we're going to be eating in the future? Like in 25 years?
Food.
They say dark chocolate, already recognized as both yummy and good for you, will be commonplace, while milk chocolate will be largely history, according to this story. It says we know red wine is good for you, and more people will be drinking that as well. They say that down the road, those nasty trans fats will be almost eliminated entirely from the food supply, and more foodborne infections will be drastically reduced. This is good news.
That is all very good news.
They also predict that 40 to 50% of us will be vegetarian. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that I won't be within that range.
When you get a checkup, the doctor will prescribe what foods and supplements are best for you, and your multivitamin and mineral supplements will be personalized for you depending on your age. Obesity and diabetes rates will have been steadily declining for about 15 years, they're saying. This is a glimpse into the future of just
That's
25
awesome.
years. That's awesome, but this is also just somebody that's sitting around going, okay, I'm going to just type up some stuff. What do I think is going to happen in 25 years? You notice they didn't even say who that was from? I mean, they didn't even put in there it was from like the university. It's probably from, Mike up the hall. I don't know where this came from. Anyway, coming up, we got a really touching story that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, this almost made it as our good news for today, but the reason it didn't make it is because I don't even know if it's real. It's one of those things. It's called The Brick. It's a little story from the internet, and I have no clue if this is real. Probably not, but it's a neat story nonetheless. I'll tell you the story. A young, successful executive was traveling down a neighborhood street, going a little too fast in his new Jaguar, and he was watching for kids darting out between parked cars, and he slowed down when he thought that he saw something. As his car passed, no children appeared. Instead, a brick smashed into the side of his Jaguar.
Oh, boy.
He slammed on the brakes and backed the Jag up to the spot where the brick had been thrown. The angry driver then jumped out of his car and grabbed the nearest kid and pushed him up against a parked car, shouting, "What was that all about? And who are you? That's a new car, and that brick you threw is going to cost a lot of money to fix. Why'd you do that?" The young boy was apologetic and said, "Please, mister, I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do." He said, "I threw the brick because nobody would stop." With tears dripping down his face and off his chin, the young man pointed to a spot around a parked car and said, "It's my brother. He rolled off the curb and fell out of his wheelchair, and I can't lift him up." Now sobbing, the boy asked the stunned executive, "Would you please help me get him back up into his wheelchair? He's hurt, and he's too heavy for me." Moved beyond words, the driver tried to swallow the rapidly swelling lump in his throat. Hurriedly lifted the handicapped boy. Hurriedly? Is that a word?
Apparently.
Anyway, lifted the handicapped boy back into the wheelchair. Then he took out a linen handkerchief and dabbed off the fresh scrapes and cuts. A quick look told him everything was going to be okay. "Thank you. May God bless you," the grateful child told the stranger. The two shook up for words. The man simply watched the boy push the wheelchair down the sidewalk toward their home. It was a long, slow walk back to his car. The damage was very noticeable, but the driver never bothered to repair the dent. He kept it there as a reminder. Don't go through life so fast that someone literally has to throw a brick at you to get your attention. So, like I said, I don't know if that's a true story.
That's not a true story.
It could be.
That's not a true story.
I thought it was a neat story.
It's a neat story, but it's not a true story.
How do you know? Were you there? That's not how it went down.
Yeah.
I thought it was a neat
Fixed my
story.
Jag.
Would you just- she wouldn't have stopped. Yeah, whatever. Calling the cops on you kids. Anyway, coming up, we do have some good news. That is on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and this is good news. And this is real, too, Heidi. This is a real story. It's not about a Jaguar and some brick in front of them. She's calling me out on that, saying that that's not real. Next thing you know, she's going to go online and see if she can find something to, prove that it's not real.
Debunk it.
Yeah, don't debunk me, lady. Okay, earlier today I couldn't tell you much about D.B. Cooper, and then later I couldn't tell you much about that story. But I'm going to tell you all about this. Good news. A woman with brain cancer set to run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. What? I mean, that's a lot of marathons. A woman is set to tackle an amazing feat. Like I said, 7 marathons, 7 days, 7 different continents. That accomplishment would be an amazing feat itself, but for Beth Ann Telford, she's continuing to battle brain cancer, and the task is awe-inspiring. She's 47. She was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2005. After several brain surgeries, she told ABC News that she still has active cancer cells in her body, and that is affecting her in a number of ways. She has not driven in 12 years because she's had seizures often. She says, I have no sight in my left eye. Her brain cancer has also affected her bladder.
Cow.
And it's led to a lot of different surgeries. But she is getting ready to go on this 2017 World Marathon Challenge. 33 participants from 13 different countries will be competing over 7 days. They're each going to spend 59 hours in flight, going from place to place, more than 23,000 miles to get from the start to the finish.
That is not how I would want to spend the rest of my time.
The first marathon, by the way, is on Union Glacier in Antarctica. And then it just goes from there. But they're going to be on all 7 continents. So that is crazy.
The thought of that exhausts me.
Just thinking about it does?
Yes. Of course, I get exhausted thinking about running errands, so I can't imagine
So
doing
I think
what
this
she's
is
going to do.
really, really cool. And she may have already done it. I don't know. This might already be done. I have no clue if it's done or if she's just getting ready to do it. But it's this year. 7 continents, 7 marathons in 7 days. If you'd like to read the story, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.